Yeah, so Azure Ravens, it's a contract game studio is what we started as. Now we make independent IP and still make a little contract stuff here and there. We've been a game studio around for 6 years now as of February. Crazy to think that we're still alive after that long. We've done a bunch of different contract work. We started off doing mobile game contract work, jumped in, did a little bit of PC gaming contract work before some of that fell through. And then we somehow ended up on a film set for 2 years, doing virtual production in Unreal before that was really a thing. We've kind of had a crazy journey, and we're working on Ravenwood now, and it's been a fun time working on this cozy life sim. We did a WeFunder crowdfunding round where we got the community to jump in, our friends and family jumped in. That was crazy. We got to build some really cool things and talk to some pretty crazy people from all around the world. And that's been great. Our WeFunder investors have been great for us. Lots of cool connections that we didn't expect to see from there. Some people who were overseas in Europe working like ridiculous, like normal jobs, but like would be crazy for like here in Michigan, who somehow had connections to like big investment banks and other big venture firms. And they were like, hey, let's get conversations going. And that was fun. We are not building a game that is built to tell just diverse stories, but to tell our story with a diverse cast. Or a realistic cast is the better term that we've been using. So we believe that diverse characters come from inception. The process that we've looked at this is when we design our characters, we design our characters from the ground up. We start with they start as a name. They start as a name and a job role for Ravenwood because that's how we've kind of started. And then we start diversifying afterwards. But for our core cast, we started with a name and a job title. And then from there, we built these fun little spreadsheets where we fill out their entire life, who they are, where they come from. And we started to talk about what's the true life experience for different groups and different people. The community that we've built through WeFunder, the community that we've built just of playtesters willing to try out Ravenwood and get involved with us has been huge for our feedback. We have about 150 playtesters who play pretty regularly whenever we have new updates. And those are people who were either WeFunder investors or friends of those investors or people who reached out to us from LinkedIn being like, hey, I'd love to get my hands on your demo. It's crazy because we've got people who give us feedback ranging from like your traditional teen to young adult gamer to the soccer mom or white collar worker who just got done for the day to a Nordic fisherman is how he describes himself, which is super funny, who's obsessed with the game. Last year we started off strong, lots of cool investment conversations, lots of pubs willing to talk with us, a lot of good feedback too on our project. Then out of nowhere, there was a month of nothing. Like not even we're looking into this, but even conversations we've been having with people had like went silent for a second. And I was like, ooh, weird. I wonder what's going on. And then all of these announcements started to come out about people being like, oh, we're no longer funding games. We're no longer doing things. And I was like, oh, wait, what? And then we had a few partners of ours who we'd been talking to for a while now come out and be like, hey, I have bad news. And we were like, oh no. And they're like, we're gonna have to look at possibly 2024, maybe 2025 before we start doing investments again. And I was like, wait, what? And they're like, hopefully you're still here. And we were like, I hope we're still here too. But, you know, we pushed through, we kept working on our game, kept building our stuff, kind of kept our true north there and kept going. Yeah, so the platform itself is going to give us the opportunity to start generating revenue before we would consider ourselves comfortable at selling it. It's going to allow us to start getting players in, play testing the game, giving us feedback, generating that initial revenue that'll help us focus more on this. We're doing co-development work and a couple of other contract projects to give us runway. If we were able to generate that revenue during development with players playtesting our game and giving us feedback, that feels like a match made in heaven. I mean, we're sitting there going, we have the player base who want to playtest and give us feedback, and this would give us the mechanism to do that. A reoccurring theme for us is people saying, hey, we'd love to jump in and support, and us not having a real avenue to do that. Because creating merch costs money, selling products costs money, all of the different avenues that we could go either takes time or money. This feels like a really cool opportunity for us to kind of put our tested versions out to receive additional testing and not really take a lot of additional time from us. To pursue indie game development is to risk it all to make something incredible that only a few might see. I think the platform you're building gives a higher opportunity for indies to get out there and say, hey, let's lower the barrier of entry for you to play my game and see how amazing it is. And I think that's great.